Just to bring everybody up to speed on what's happened recently with Medical Properties Trust, MPW released a press release in early January regarding their largest tenant, Steward Healthcare. They announced that they were going to intensify their efforts to retrieve the uncollected past due rents from Steward, as well as new financing in the form of a bridge loan, due to Steward having some trouble with payment terms being demanded by their vendors. They also brought up a sense of urgency in reducing their exposure to Steward, as Steward is a outsized portion of the portfolio compared to their other tenants, and too much concentration into Steward, which is having financial problems, could end up biting Medical Properties Trust. I also recently released an update regarding some problems Steward was having with certain hospitals in Massachusetts, and how the state lawmakers, healthcare regulators, local governments, and even the governor of Massachusetts were all concerned about what Steward was doing about these hospitals to prevent their closure. And there was even a letter written to Steward's management from the legislature in Massachusetts. It is now being widely reported that Steward has secured funding to continue the operation of the Massachusetts hospitals, and that those hospitals will not be closing. So, what is this deal that they've managed to work out? Well, the exact details are somewhat sparse. They were pretty vague, but it was all projecting confidence. According to Steward's executive vice president, Michael Callum, despite the troubling news reports about our Massachusetts hospitals, I want to inform you that Steward has agreed upon principal terms for a significant financial transaction to help stabilize our company. This bridge financing and the terms of this transaction have been agreed upon, and the first tranche of funding is imminent. This funding will help stabilize operations, including the resumption of virtually all elective cases, and more importantly, allow us to continue operations at all of our Massachusetts hospitals. So they have no plans to close any of these hospitals, at least for now, and they specified that these transactions would give them time, quote, to consider transferring one or more of our hospitals to other operators. So that's where this is at. So Steward seems to be actually working towards real solutions. The reason a lot of these hospitals have been losing money in the first place is because a huge percentage of their billables come from Medicare and Medicaid, whose payments and reimbursements have not kept up with the increases of costs since COVID. It also stands to reason that if these new funding transactions are beneficial to Steward and their operations, that it would also be beneficial for MPW and their efforts to collect rent from Steward. And if they can perhaps transfer some of these hospitals to other operators, assuming that they're not able to make them profitable, that should help their bottom line. Sometimes you gotta cut out the inefficient and unprofitable parts of your business and just keep what's working. I also think it's worth noting that they've only managed to get to this point because of MPW's support. Without the support of Medical Properties Trust, they probably would have run out of money a long time ago and potentially had sudden facility closures, and perhaps Steward itself would have gone bankrupt. I would guess that MPT's management has probably been working with them on this, crunching the numbers, etc., behind the scenes to make sure it's actually viable to keep working with Steward. Medical Properties Trust is expected to report earnings in a few weeks, and I am kind of eager for that to happen so we can hear what their take is on this whole Steward situation. Hopefully the analysts will actually ask some relevant questions. That would be nice. At the end of the day, my investment in Medical Properties Trust is a long-term bet on the essential healthcare infrastructure that they invest in, and just because I personally hold stock of MPW doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you, but I think these facilities are necessary and will continue to operate, and MPW will continue to benefit from their ownership in the long run. This is one of those cases where I just happen to strongly believe that the potential reward outweighs the potential risk, and this is much different than, say, a mall REIT or an office REIT, in the sense that these structures can't simply stop operating without actual real consequences. But I think if you couple the upside with the massive short interest artificially depressing the share price, and the fact that MPW's management made the decision to battle it out with Viceroy Research in federal court over some of the claims made about MPW in their short reports, I really think this is a good setup for me. I think that it has a lot of interesting elements going on, and I think that there's a lot of juice to squeeze out of this. I use the word squeeze, but I'm not really actually implying anything, I swear. But if the stock doesn't go to zero, well, these guys do have to buy to close at some point. Just saying. I am still interested in making a longer video specifically about MPW's lawsuit against Viceroy Research. Let me know below if that's still something you're interested in. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to help me build the audience, like for the algo, comment for the algo, join Discord in the description, become a member, catch me Saturday 8 p.m., catch the Kings live. So, what do you think? I think that if something is good for Steward, ultimately it'll be good for the MPW share price. Let me know if you think the same. Take it easy, everyone.